So try to analyze your profile or find someone who can help you with it. Like external vision also help you to shape what is your profile. And then try to think like maybe not precise thing, but like a high level vision. If you are successful, and what profile you would like to see in, let's say, 3 years, what kind of company you're working in, what kind of challenges you can solve, what kind of technologies you can use. Yeah, that will help you to understand where you want to be. And you have two dots basically, your profile where you're starting and your like end goal, or not end goal, but goal in let's say 3 years where you want to move.
สวัสดีค่ะขอต้อนรับเข้าสู่ It's All About Serverless Podcast Welcome to It's All About Serverless Podcast the podcast where we explore stories and insights from people driving innovation in tech. I'm your host Natakan Futam. Today I'm excited to be welcome Darya Petrashka, a senior data scientist at SLB with over 5 years of experience specialized in natural language processing and generative AI. Draya focuses on transforming complex data into intelligent cloud-native systems that create real-world impact. She especially passionate about evolving space of Gen AI on AWS, from agents and Bedrock to integrate large language model into scalable workflow. Beyond her work at SLB, Darya is also a AWS Community Builder, mentor, and speaker at Community Days, PyCon, and summits across Europe and Asia. She also an AWS Hackathon winner and All Builders Welcome Grant recipient. I can't wait to dive into her journey from learning cloud and AI from scratch to mentoring others who are doing the same. Darya, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here.
Thanks for having me, Nat. So glad to be here.
Yeah, so I'm impressed with your background that you start your journey from cloud and AI from scratch. So I like to hear about that.
Yeah, sure. So it's a little bit of a story,
Mhm.
because I was studying management and economics at my university. So it was mostly it had nothing to do with tech. We only had like math classes, maybe some statistics related classes, but nothing tech heavy. And during that time, and I still very passionate about foreign languages, but not like I can pick up one language and become a translator or interpreter, because it's too hard to me to pick just one or two languages. And I was interested in exploring the languages and their systems, because it was something fascinating in it, to find some common patterns, some specific cases. So I was treating it like a system and was digging into these systems. And then after my graduation, I worked some time as a manager and a content creator, writer. So I tried to find my place. At the same time, I started my family. I got married, and then I started to have kids. I have two daughters. They are 9 and 6 years old. So yeah, it was like a natural pause for me to focus on family, to focus on kids, and that was some time that I could sit and think what I'm going to do in my life. And I was, yeah, I was thinking about maybe doing some handmade stuff, selling on Etsy. Yeah, all sorts of crazy ideas. But then I started to think about languages and what was so interesting for me in languages. And I thought maybe I can find something that combines languages and math or computing. And natural, I came across natural language processing. And then, because natural language processing is a sub area of data science, I found out about data science. So that's how that's how it all started.
Mhm.
And because I think it was 2018, I decided to start taking online courses. I was still mostly sitting with my kids doing some part-time job unrelated to tech. So I had a bit of time, between naps and all the crazy mom schedule. And I started to learn Python, started to learn SQL. That's how it all started. And I have another story how I found out about cloud, and I
Yeah.
can and I can continue with that.
Yeah, so so your background is management and you explore the language and you graduate and then you were also a content creator and writer. And then yeah, you start the family, you're a mom, and you are fighting what you actually want to do. And so you start taking a course online on 2018 and also managing being like working as a mom and have two kids. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's a lot of, like uncertainty. Like how did you transition from a mom and then taking a course? Like how do you manage your time?
yeah, it's a great one because basically you have no time, like no allocated stable time in your schedule because
Yeah.
kids are very, very unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to have some sort of agreement with my husband that
Mm-hmm.
I can allocate at least like 2 hours per day for studying. And also in the beginning, I thought maybe one course will do everything. So I tried to search for something like uh, on Udemy, something about like data science complete course, but it was too long. It was too broad, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
and wasn't digging into details as I should be. So I quickly understood that I need to tackle one thing by another. So I decided to learn SQL, and that's why I was digging into SQL task. I was writing queries. I had some website with different tasks that were running against the database, and I had to, you know, do a lot of tries and errors to understand how to handle null values, how
Mm-hmm.
to join tables, how to understand like the logic. And then pretty the same thing with Python. Yeah, I had to troubleshoot my code. I had to try to write my first function, and it was yeah, it was slow. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
I wish it could be faster, but it was I couldn't do like I couldn't do it in a faster pace and with more time. So and at the same time, I in the company where I was doing like part-time job, I asked to run some numbers, and we had some promotional promotions for our clients. So I decided to grab the numbers and to do some kind of simple data science, just to just to calculate some metrics and to provide a report. So this was a like a first data analysis slash data science task for me. And it was without like applying and having an extra job, like a new job. Yeah, it was simple, but still I learned how to do like more complicated formulas on a Google spreadsheet. And then I understood that I need to move forward, and I need to start applying to companies to have a role as a data analyst or a data scientist. And I applied like I think everywhere. Yeah, because I didn't understand what the company, what the type of company. Is it like a big enterprise? Is it a startup? I applied everywhere where I could, where I saw a word data and even like a database, everything. And I was starting going to different interviews, and I got rejected multiple times. It wasn't easy. It wasn't
Yeah.
easy because you doubt yourself. Am
Mm-hmm.
I a good professional? Why I'm getting rejected? But it's still experience. You learn each and every time you will be better and better and better
Mm-hmm.
in conversation, in understanding the landscape. And now just like looking back, I understand that for many of those companies that rejected me, I wasn't a good fit. It's not because of me, it's because we were too different. We were too different. I was looking to do something with machine learning. I was looking to do more like a data science work, but some of those companies, they just required a database support person
Mm-hmm.
or like some sort of statistical guy or something like that. So, but I can say it after some time, not at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I have a little bit of question on like so when during you studying and everything, when you encounter something, let's say that you're watching the course online, and is there anything that you feel like because it's the first time learning and you're not familiar with the language, right? Like the term that they use in tech and like in the cloud and everything. How did you what was the process there? Like, how did you learn something new that you not completely like have no idea, have like maybe a little of background?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. I think I was trying to first, grasp a high level, big picture understanding of what's going on, or goal of this thing. For example,
Mhm.
I'm studying something about SQL, and in a high level, I need to understand that this is a language to interact with a database. And why would we need a database? Because we need information about, let's say, some our performance or our storage inventory, something like that. So this is a high level understanding and understanding of a goal, like a business goal. And then I can go deeper and deeper. So the next level would be, okay, we have some sort of database. How would we connect to it? How would we query it? And then you understand, okay, query, that means we need to write a select, something from, something where, and so on and so forth. And this is like a rabbit hole. You can dig deeper and deeper. You can go down to performance, query performance, and analyzing the query performance into SQL. And it would be like very, very deep down. But it's always beneficial to keep this high level, understand why I'm doing this, why I'm digging in this hole, and Google ask people if you cannot grasp the concept. Now you can ask ChatGPT, but back then you can just Google and ask different people. And again, Google, luckily we have a lot of resources nowadays.
Yeah, like lots of reading. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I can relate to that because sometimes when you learn something new and like it's like a rabbit hole, like you said, you just kind of want to know more, 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 and it just your brain just never stop learning and want to know everything. Yeah. So and then I like to transition a little bit for your job processing when you try to apply for a job and like there's just so many job that in the job market and how you narrow down to just because I know that you apply and then you get a rejection. So I like to hear about how do you is there any like certain process that you have taken, for example maybe you look for the job and then come up with the list. So because I'm pretty sure that our listener, some of them may be looking for a job and maybe they get lost, and if you have any advice on like maybe from how you start and then you finish at the end, like during the interview, and maybe if you have some code challenges or something along those lines.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I think my process was hectic at the beginning. It was like, okay, let's go to website with jobs and let's please apply for to everything that contains word data inside. So I filter by data, like data science, data analyst, data engineer. I didn't care. I just filter by one word and hit apply. And then yeah, of course, some of the companies they even didn't respond. Some of them reach out to me. So you're trying to build this like a filter. Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
hit apply like 100 times, maybe best case scenario, 50 companies will give you some sort of response. You get to be interviewed like 10 times, and maybe out of this 10 times, one company will give you an offer, but maybe not. We don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
the statistical rule is the more you apply, the more you get interviews. But also you need to be smart about this. I wasn't smart in the beginning. You need to understand what kind of companies you need to apply to. Yeah, of course, as a beginner, if you start to look for a job, you need to understand what kind of companies are there and what the work, the job, like day-to-day job would look like, depending on the company type. I learned about this knowledge, this tip from a book which was called Build a Career in the Data Science. And it was said that, okay, there is like a big corporation company, and your job as a data scientist inside this company will be, you will be joined like maybe 18th or something data scientist, and there would be a lot of colleagues, they will help you, and you will be doing something like a narrow part of the job. Yeah, but on the other side, you can join a startup and you will be doing everything from the beginning to the end. And yeah, it depends on the person. If you want to drink from a hose, yeah, if you want to like be overwhelmed, but learn very very quickly and learn how to do everything from scratch till the end, yeah, maybe startup is a great place. Yeah, just like 1 month would be counted as 1 year in a big company. Yeah, but if you want to have a support from your colleagues, from mentors, maybe you will be joining something like a bigger company. There are also product companies out there. They're not like a big corporation, but still you will have like more senior colleagues who can support you here, and you will be working in a specific domain. And there are also like outsourcing companies who will sell you as a data scientist or as a like software engineer to another companies, but you will still have a support of colleagues, and you still will be responsible for like a rather small piece of their duties. So yeah, later on, when I understood this difference and when I sat and think, okay, I have a family, maybe joining the startup isn't realistic for me because I will have to leave my family and
Right.
and to be all like drowned into a startup and do everything. I thought maybe I will just filter out startups and look into, for example, outsourcing companies who can support me and where I can learn quickly, but at the same time will be supported by other colleagues and the responsibilities will be, clearly defined. Uh, then it actually helped me.
Yeah, so I like that you giving the different you start from the book. You found the book and then you just like, okay, here's the different startup and then the corporate and then outsourcing. Which one do I can I join? Because right, your situation where you're a mom and maybe startup is too much for you because you have to take care of your family. And yeah, so I really like the idea of the strategic of approaching that. That's awesome. So I like to get into a little bit of after you get a job and then you like how did you prepare for that, like because the first day coming up, and then do you have anything that maybe you feel like how can I like more of like a planning before you start the job?
Okay, good question because I had some kind of lag uh,
Mm-hmm.
between my offer to the day I actually got started my first job because I had some legal issues. I had to handle documents.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I think the best way is to be in touch with the person from that company, your manager, like, that contact person who usually it's a technical manager. Yes, someone who will be onboarding you from the technical side, but
Mm-hmm.
also HR. HR will be supporting you in terms of documents and processes. But now I'm talking about like technical leader, and maybe you can even ask them. It's a good question, and actually it it puts you in a good position in their eyes if you ask, what can I do? Like we have, for example, like 2 weeks before I join, what can I do to be better prepared for my first day at the job? And they say, okay, have you worked with this kind of APIs? And if you have, it's great. You can just, refresh the concept. But if not, you have enough time to play with it a little bit, or they can share like a little bit high level specifics of the project. So we're using ABC of our stack, or from if, for example, we're talking about cloud services. Okay, we have a bunch of Lambda functions that are triggered some um, by some notification from S3 buckets. So you can go and try to like replicate in a simple way this kind of architecture, or just explore the services you are not familiar with. It's a great place to start, and I think also you can try to, depending on the company you're looking forward to join, you can also study like the domain to understand a little bit the lingo, because if you're joining some oil and gas company, then maybe some words from there would be useful, or automotive company and you have no
Mm-hmm.
idea about it. It also be useful to be more familiar with it, to not get overwhelmed during the first days. So yeah, I think the key is communication here.
Mm, yeah, I think you're right. Communication, and then always keep keep learning. And you also mentioned asking like, how can I maybe like prepare? That's a really nice. So then, while let's say that okay, you in the job for maybe 3 months, is there anything you have faced during the time where you feel like stuck, or if you need help, how do you navigate, or maybe you run to something new? For example, AWS also have like always have some new thing that you can apply to your services to make things better, right? So how did you approach the learning curve during the time?
During the time, I think it's good to understand the nature of your work, of your job,
Mm-hmm.
because all of us we have some, like peaks, season peaks and low seasons
Mm-hmm.
where the hype is a little bit lower and you can allocate some extra time for learning. And you can, by this time, you can already like collect a list of concepts or services you want to explore. For example, today I saw something about strengths agents that are developed by AWS. Yeah, I want to try them on, but today I don't have enough time. Yeah, I have to work on my project. This is like also a lot of calls scheduled, but I put this down into my list. And then, like another day, I will find out something about S3 vectors. I also put it on this list. And maybe like at the end of December, when the the hype is lower, many people are having holidays. But if you don't have holidays, or even you have holidays but have some extra time, you can go there and can think about project. Okay, if I combine these services, what can I build? I can combine all the like maybe 5 or even 7 concepts all together to build a project. You can ask AI if you're stuck here. So you can understand and you can build it. Like you don't need to build production ready end-to-end pipeline or something very, very serious. Just a couple of days would be enough to build it. Uh, so you practice it and then try to create something from it. Try to create a piece of technical content, a video, a blog post. Maybe you can share it with your teammates. Maybe you can share it on LinkedIn or like with a wider audience, because things are getting for you can forget things very, very quick. Yeah, if you do it once, if you create out of it some content explaining step by step what you did, you have less chances that you forget something. And you, bingo, you already practiced new concept, new services, you had some research, and this is not lost. You just not like did some random click here and there and you don't understand whether I learned something or not. No, you build a project, you share it, you have some stable piece, and if you need to go back to it, you can go back to it anytime.
Yeah, I really, yeah, I can resonate with that, where you create something and then you make a YouTube or yeah, publish that online. And I also like the idea that, let's say that you keep your repo on that project on GitHub, right? You write a README and then you can come back later. And I kind of have to, because you already have some memory there, and then you come back and you kind of refresh the memory and can utilizing that from the GitHub. That's really awesome. And one last question. So if someone were going to find a way to the cloud, and I like you to if you have any advice on people that like just something like us, where they want to get in, and yeah, how they navigate if they yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, the people are different and the background is often different.
Mhm.
And there would be a different advice for someone who, for example, was a software engineer and want to become like a machine learning engineer versus someone completely starting from, unrelated field like marketing and wanting to be a data scientist. But in any case, you're not starting from scratch. You have already some background. Maybe it's a business domain knowledge. Maybe it's a common like soft skill knowledge. You can communicate to people. You can find patterns like me. I could find patterns in different languages, and that became a foundation for my data science learning. So try to analyze your profile or find someone who can help you with it. Like external vision also help you to shape what is your profile, and then try to think like maybe not precise thing, but like a high level vision. If you are successful, and what profile you would like to see in, let's say, 3 years, what kind of what kind of company you're working in, what kind of challenges you can solve, what kind of technologies you can use. Yeah, that will help you to understand where you want to be. And you have two dots basically, your profile where you're starting and your like end goal, or not end goal, but goal in, let's say, 3 years where you want to move. And yeah, and you can find the difference between them. You can find what is missing. You can find the like pieces of technologies, what is missing. You don't know, for example, Python programming, go and learn it. You don't know, you want to, for example, join educational company that is creating like online courses in 3 years, and you don't know nothing about the process. So you can try to find someone who work in a such position, and ask just like 15 minutes coffee chat and ask some question to understand the domain, understand where you want to be. So in a nutshell, you have your profile and you have where you want to be, and you're trying to minimize the difference between them.
Awesome. Yeah, huge thank to Draya from joining the show and sharing many great insight. It's been awesome having you here.
Thank you, Ned. It was a
Yeah.
great pleasure.
If you enjoyed this episode, follow for more podcasts and share that with your friend who loves cloud and tech. Until next time, keep building, keep learning, and stay curious.